What's up, everybody? It's been a while. I've been away. I'm sorry, but I'm back. I caught the tail end of April, and I'm back with a new episode. It has to be a quick intro because this is a pretty long interview, and I want to give time for that. Last week, my friend Nick Blum from Pittsburgh and the band Sam Pellegrino came up, and we played some acoustic shows together, and it was a really great time. Nick's a really great dude. I really enjoyed getting to know him better and playing with him and hearing what he's about, and we get into some stuff in this one. It gets a little heavy towards the beginning. I open up about my family's issues with heroin addiction and stuff like that. And I apologize if our conversation goes a way that upsets some people. Drug addiction, some heavy stuff, but it's all from the heart. And we bring it around and we talk about other drugs too. A lot. But it's a really good time. Recommend checking Sam Pellegrino out. Like Nick said, their EP release show should be May 26th. But before then, they have a video up on YouTube and a single on SoundCloud and whatnot. Male Bonding Over Women. I love that track. I got to hear another one last Friday when he played acoustic. We played at Couch House. Thank you guys. You are awesome. That the Artist Collective Practice Room Records, which my dude Robbie, who I play with in Peach Moon, is a part of that, and that's his house, and they housed us, and we played a really awesome show there. And then shout out to Eli and Zoe for housing us at their place over in the Williamsburg area, maybe Bushwick, whatever, but we played a really cool loft apartment there with this really awesome guy named Zach and Joshua. Awesome sets, guys. Awesome times all around. Me and Laura are going to be doing it more often. Look out for Lem. Maybe we'll hit a couch in your neighborhood. But it was great talking to Nick, like I said. I miss you guys. Hopefully I'll be doing this more often. I hope to come back. I'll do it when I can. I want it to be good for you and for me. But until then, I'm going to be making music, and I'm going to be doing stuff. But yeah, this is a quick one. I wish I could talk more. 420 was okay. I worked. Nothing too special. The new Kendrick Lamar album, Damn, is awesome. That's about it. I'm excited for Mac DeMarco next week. The Artist for Alzheimer's benefit is tomorrow. That's going to be amazing. String Machines playing with Sam Pellegrino. I'm going to play an acoustic set. So is Nikki T, Nate Renwick, Cities Under Cities. So many artists. Alex, man. I can't think of his last name right now. And I'm horrible with last names, but his name's Alex. He's really awesome. Infected by Dummies. Oh man, I didn't think of this before I did it. Marsha Furman's gonna be there. David McCandless is gonna have art. Polyculture, Butler area polyculture is gonna be there with elixirs and veggies and whatnot to open the mind. There's going to be a comedy show with a bunch of New York comics, Eric Grooms, this Gabe dude, some other people. Robert Puncher will be there, good comedian friend of mine. Laura and I are going to play. There's going to be great times, great people. String Machine's going to rock. Sam Pellegrino's going to rock. People are going to laugh. There's going to be glass blowing. Oh, it's going to be awesome. That happens tomorrow, Saturday, in this time. After that, it'll live on the internet and be a Saturday long forgotten. But not for me. It's going to be a great time. And we're going to raise some money for Alzheimer's. Go to alz.com. It's going to be a great, so refreshing time. But without further ado, here is my interview of Nick Blum of Sam Pellegrino. Enjoy. Oh, hit it, baby Dave.
For stoners out there worldwide,
it has to be doing something to us. It isn't just a mystical, magical thing.
It's the smoke. I feel like, like you're breathing in smoke. Imagine younger, some some old guy taps you while you're walking down the street on the shoulder and is like, 10 years from now, you're going to be inhaling smoke every single day of your life. You'd be like, wow, that's so unhealthy. But now it's just like a part of like
That's how
every
I
day.
get through my
It's
day.
how you get through your day. It's just kind of like weird how it all flip-flops.
Just need to get one of those little hot box vapes.
Yeah.
A little tabletop vape.
I had a volcano.
Oh, like the big bag?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh.
And what we would do is we would get, and this, a lot of people probably know about this, but we would get like a big, turkey baster bag thing, and you can like roll it out, and then you can cut your size.
Oh,
so you can make like a 30-foot tube of just straight vapor. But the bag is like normally like about 2.5, 3 feet, maybe at the most. It's not supposed to be on for that long.
Oh, okay.
So you're gonna like burn out your whole volcano.
They're like thick material, the ones that come like standard with them. Yeah.
And they cost like $60. Like a single bag is like an outrageous.
That's why we smoke. That's why we don't vape, because vaping is a really expensive lifestyle. It's
exactly.
like, I'm just gonna fucking ruin my lungs.
Dude, who would have known? The cavemen had it right with the fire. And then you put fire to the weed. It's as simple as that.
It's as simple as that.
It's straightforward. Can't get any better. And then next thing you know, they come out with something that pumps out mystical clouds of not smoke, but it is smoke. I don't know about that.
I don't know, man. So eventually there'll be just like patches, or like you just like think a thought and you feel that way. Could you imagine that?
That would be nuts.
I want to feel like, what's it feel like to be on opiates? Oh,
Here's
shit.
a patch.
What do you hit? ESC. When you hit your ear to escape.
Oh my god.
Like squeeze the pressure point on top of your nose.
What's that move? Oh, iRobot.
Will Smith?
Like, yeah. It'll be like iRobot.
What part of iRobot?
I don't know. I just threw that out.
I'm so confused. I'm sorry.
Threw it out.
I'm calling you out on your sci-fi.
Whatever. I'm not even a sci-fi guy.
You're not a sci-fi guy?
Nah.
What do you gravitate towards on that, like genre-wise?
For film, like just like.
Yeah, let's go film.
Movies. I would say like, there's this weird genre, like subgenre that I like called mumblecore, which is
mumblecore.
I kind of like cringed when I said that.
Have anything to do with mumble rap?
No, actually not. There's this really good film that I just bought online, because that's what you do when you support something. You buy it. And I got this one film. I think I'm going to butcher his last name, but the director is Adam, it's either Adam or Andrew Bujaski.
Okay.
It's probably
does not ring a bell.
Bujaski. It's like Polish or something, or Eastern European, and it's this movie called Funny Ha Ha.
Funny Ha Ha.
Yeah, and it's mostly the whole deal with mumblecore film is that it's little plot. It has little to no plot.
Okay.
And it's entirely dialogue based, so it's mostly conversation, for scenes being like 10 minutes long of just back and forth conversation. And
with humor or just straight up? Just,
yeah, it's usually like very humor.
Okay.
Very humor. It's usually like.
That's very, very good humor.
But it has its seriousness too.
Okay.
There's like a lot of weight. Like usually it's a very personal story. There's this other one called Frances Ha, that I think is newer. I think it came out in like 2013, and this woman directed it and filmed herself in it too. So it's like usually it's low budget. It's like a low budget thing.
Okay.
Not much money is spent. It's usually just on equipment. And
you like Linklater at all?
What's that?
Richard Linklater.
I never heard.
You ever heard of like the Before Sunrise, After Sunrise, or whatever, Before Midnight?
Nah.
Boyhood.
Boyhood? Yeah, I have heard of Boyhood.
That director.
Okay.
A lot of his movies are very dialogue. Like, there's not really much going on plot-wise. It's literally just like Before Sunrise is just one night. These two people meet each other, and it just follows their whole night. Richard Linklater. He also did Scanner Darkly, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's really, really cool. You would love...
Richard Linklater.
Yeah,
that's an interesting last name.
Yeah, Linklater. Yeah, something.
Linklater.
He works with Ethan Hawke a lot and stuff, but
Nice.
yeah, a lot of just straight up dialogue. Like
It's
Before
probably-
Sunrise, I weeped. I weeped. So because it was the truest representation of love I've ever witnessed on screen. It's just straight up, just like 2 hours of just two people talking.
Okay, so this is sort of off topic, but have you heard of this film called Daisies?
No.
It's by, and I cannot pronounce last names for the life of me. But it's by Vera Shimlatova.
Okay.
That's
I wish everyone could have saw your face. Tova.
Shimlatova, and
Gives the whole effect.
Sean Hova. No. She was like a political, I guess, film producer, writer, screenwriter in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Czech Republic. I don't know.
One of those.
One of those places, man. And apparently it was banned. It was like the first film to be banned because not only was it written by a woman, which was looked down upon at the time, it was still released. It got banned because there's this one scene, and it stars with two girls,
Mm-hmm.
and they're kind of supposed to symbolize the oppression that women face. It's very general, and it's kind of an abstract type movie. So the thematics behind it are probably pretty broad, but you kind of get the idea of where it's going. And then there's this emphasis on eating food in the movie, that like women shouldn't eat food, or when they do, it symbolizes kind of like aggression in women, or like that is usually subdued, because of social values and cues. So there's this one scene where they find themselves in like some sort of grandiose hotel, and there's this long table of food, like so much food, like for like 60 people, and then they just like eat all the food and fuck it all up. Am I allowed to say fuck?
You're allowed to say
okay,
fuck,
cool.
man.
God, I don't know.
It's the interwebs.
Right,
I have a parental guidance thing on there.
So they just go ham on all this food, like eat like one bite and then stir up the entire cake, and then go on to the next cake and eat one bite and then just fuck it all up. And they were in a food ration at the time, so it got banned because they used too much food and they wasted too much food. But I feel like it was more about the thematics behind the female. And where
when
they
was
stood.
this, like the 40s or something?
The 60s.
60s.
The mid-60s. I think it was 1966.
All right.
But very, very interesting political flick. And they think it's called Daisies by Vera Shimlatova. Look it up. It's good.
All right, man.
Yeah, there's my spiel.
Here's your shooting. Yeah, I'm a sci-fi guy. And
Yeah?
I'm a fantasy guy. Yeah, like I love Tolkien. I love Battlestar Galactica.
Oh wow. You're
Star
in
Wars. I'm in it, man. But I'm not like it's weird. I've had a departure from all things in the last couple years. I don't know what I like. I know I like music. I know I like westerns. I know I like Laurel. I know I like burritos. But like, there's some things like TV shows. Like I don't. TV shows and movies, it's hard for me to get down with anything anymore because I don't know what it is. Like that's why I really I remember as a child I loved Clint Eastwood westerns.
Me too, dude.
They're my favorite shit.
Good, bad, and ugly.
High Plains Drifter,
Yes.
Outlaw Josie Wells, Pale Rider, man. I got this shit on DVD, and I just watched Tombstone for the first time ever. Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, Wyatt Earp, and I love western movies. Even fucking John Wayne western movies. Like I prefer Clint Eastwood, but
Yeah,
other
me
things
too.
I know I like Star Wars, but I don't love Star Wars like everybody else does. And I don't know why I really like Star Wars.
You
Cause,
Star Trek guy?
I like the new J.J. Abrams movie. I didn't see the third one, the one that he didn't direct. It looked like too Fast and the Furious for me. But that's the thing, is I forget a lot of reasons why I like stuff. Like bands, I don't why do I love Radiohead? Is it because everybody else loves Radiohead? Like, why do I really like Radiohead? Why do people like Led Zeppelin? Why do people like the Rolling Stones? Why do I? You know what I mean? And these questions I've been pondering, and I realized I don't know. But I do know that I like westerns, man. I like westerns, and that's a genre I do like.
You know why,
and I know why. Yeah, and I don't know if I have a point to this spiel. I'm just saying it's like I understand that I might not be a niche guy. I feel like I have no bearings right now, but I'm kind of like in a clean slate that I'm ready to fill with like what maybe I'll get into a sport.
Maybe I'm into hockey right now.
It's either hockey, baseball, or basketball. Fuck football, man.
Yeah, I don't like how they like line up and they like sit there for like 5 seconds and then the play goes for like what 12 seconds at the most. You know,
that's what you don't like about it.
And then it stops and then it goes and it stops and it goes.
Like, I don't like the role models for our children.
No, man, no. They're probably like Wayne Gretzky or something. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say hockey is like America's sport.
No, like football is, right?
Yeah, I guess so. That or basketball.
Baseball,
baseball.
I think I could get into basketball just like straight up, just with like if I wanted to get into like stats, like if I wanted to really dive into something. But I think it'd be really fucking weird if people met me and like, oh, you really like basketball? Yeah. I don't look like I like basketball.
Just hit the courts.
There's a few around here.
I hit the courts earlier, not too long ago. It was like my first time since 8th grade, which is quite some time ago. And I played in a Jewish league because I grew up Jewish.
Oh, yeah. Laurel, Nick's Jewish.
I guess she's Jewish.
Laurel's mother's Jewish, which makes her Jewish.
Oh God! Here comes the New York accent.
I'm sorry. No. I can't say that phrase. If your mother's Jewish, and you're Jewish. I'm sorry.
I love that reaction. Yeah, I grew up Jewish. Laurel, Nick's Jewish.
She's gonna love that. Do you practice it?
No, I don't. I wouldn't call myself Jewish anymore, but I had a bar mitzvah.
If there was a thing in the government, they would call you Jewish. So I'm just saying, man, just because you...
I feel like, well, yeah, because I got confirmed, dude. Like, I...
Oh, yeah, you're in it to win,
It's like I impregnated a religion or something.
But we don't practice it now. We don't have to get into the faith if you don't want to.
Oh,
he's speaking.
That's right, baby. That was the blessing over the bread.
Oh man, you just dropped that loaf.
That's the only thing I know. That's Jewish or
that's
Hebrew.
Hilarious, man.
Yeah, see, I even said like the language was Jewish. It's like I'm not real. I'm not a real Jew. I'm not a real boy.
When did you lose that? What age? Did it take a while, or pretty early on were you like, nah, fuck this?
Well, I always had a like kind of like a bone inside me that was not religious at all. You know, It was kind of like I was just here because my parents took me there.
Right.
But there was some mystical times, you know, you sit in the synagogue, you get in the right headspace, you know. You just stare at the stained glass, and then you're just like,
thing, yeah.
You know, there's a whole vibe behind it that you can get into. I can understand religion, but
oh yeah,
it's not necessarily for me right now. And I'd say, well, I stopped 7th grade. When just things happen in my life, don't need to talk about. But yeah,
that's okay, man.
No, yeah, just like just things, you know. Just get in the way of religion. It happens, you know. Sometimes
people are younger. it was like, you know, mom took us and she got a job where she couldn't take us. Dad didn't. Kind of lost in high school. Then in college, right around the time I started smoking weed for the first time, I really got into the man upstairs.
Yeah.
And I
crazy.
choked it up and I praised Jesus.
That's
secretly.
Crazy.
I was a secret stoner for so long, and then I don't know. I really vibed with it, and then I fell out of it, and I still, like, I long for that faith, but it's just nothing that I've come across scripture-wise as, like, definitive, like, this is the truth. I have a lot of, like, questions, and I have ideas, and that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's interesting, you know, some people lose it really early on, some people never lose it, some people... Like me, it like comes in and out. Like Laurel's like done. She's like, fuck that shit. I'm in this for. I'm me. I love everybody because I want to love everybody, and I'm still like, but what if there is somebody looking down?
What if someone is wrong? You know,
Yeah.
Actually, there's no way to know. That I don't know. It's hard. You know, we're born with an authority figure.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is born with an authority figure. So it just makes sense that we would place something up against us that isn't there all the time. That's a completely okay and fine thing to do because we are just humans. And there's so much stuff around us that isn't us. So there has to be some sort of like communal thing going on that we just don't realize that we're taking a part of.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah,
and we're just stuck in our like an apple doesn't know it's an apple. A cog in a watch doesn't know it's a cog in a watch. It just does its job. You know?
True, man.
So I'm kind of just like in that mind frame, and I'm just going to go with where life takes me, hopefully. Hopefully, as long as I don't stick a fucking needle in my arm or something.
Don't do that, man.
And, you know, God forbid, right? You know, it's...
Well, I mean, only you can put that needle in your arm.
Yeah.
And that's an important thing to remember.
I had this really bad dream that someone came up to me and like, attacked me with a needle with heroin in it and, like, actually shot it in my vein.
Yeah.
And then I woke up, like, on the come up.
Oh,
And it was kind of like scared the shit out of me, dude.
That's scary.
It's just like that's a sign. Just like stay away, you know. Don't
fuck with it.
That. I mean, it's obvious, but you know, it's such a big problem that like so many people find themselves in that one situation in their life where they get offered it and they still do it. But we all know not to. Yeah.
Yeah, you're from Western PA. You're more city. Right?
Yeah.
You grew up in Pittsburgh?
Yeah.
We can get into that and stuff, but
Yeah.
I grew up an hour north, very small town. I mean, practically, Pittsburgh is like the Midwest. Like, we don't fit into New England and stuff. Like, we're like Ohio.
Yeah.
Like, we got some sugary shit we eat, you know?
Oh,
but there's
some very sugary.
But there's some... That shit runs wild up there, man. I've seen it's taken a lot of people, man.
Probably more so up in... you're from Butler, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Butler is an hour north, and it's a little bit more rural.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, it's no city.
No.
So, like...
Town, I guess.
I think it's more prevalent in the rural areas. Like, I heard Johnstown, if you know about Johnstown, it's freaking...
It's bad.
It's bad there.
Newcastle's got ranked the worst city.
Yeah.
That's 20 minutes away from Butler, man.
It's just so many people. I mean, in my high school, because I went to Mount Lebanon High School, which is in South Hills, south of Pittsburgh, about 10-minute drive into the city. It would take me, but it was a suburb, and it was like middle. I wouldn't say upper class. There were some rich people. There were some people who weren't as well off, and the parents were really, really working hard so they can get a good education and stuff. And but it was a good mixture of people, and it affected everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone got affected by drugs, talking heroin here. Like, the kid down the street gets affected by it and ODs, you know, and I live in, like, just middle class, like, no problems are going on in this neighborhood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But you get closer into the city, you'll hit some rough areas. It makes you wonder. And then once you get into the city, there are some really bad areas that can kind of like, you know, you see deals happening on the corners and it's it's an interesting sight. Even where I live now, because I live now in South Side, which is actually getting worse at this very second. It's getting worser and worser of an area to live.
Shit.
Because of drugs, because of the heroin epidemic or whatever you want to call it. It's a big issue, man. Too many people just...
It's huge, man. Like, this right next to where I was living in Butler before I moved up here, I was driving my friends. I think we were dropping Laurel back off at home. This girl right in the corner was shooting up. My friend just started screaming. It was, every time I walk past her, I, like, see her again.
My friend, he wasn't my friend. He was the first dude I saw hit a G-bong ever in my life. I never seen anyone rip a G-bong so hard since, but he was
Represent.
he was really into codeine. I'm not gonna give his name, and he just recently died from a heroin overdose. And and my friend's brother walked in on his brother ODing and dead.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, so it's just like, it hasn't affected my family, and I'm very lucky that it hasn't. But just, I've seen so many instances.
My brother's a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's currently relapsing right now.
Yeah.
He just got kicked out of his 3/4 house. Yeah, my mom called me this week. Yeah, he had like a year sober. Probably was it was fake though. He had Suboxones in his system. It's been 10 years of hell for my family. He's tried to kill everyone in our family, including me. I got away from him once.
You going there? All right. Dude, I mean, like, I have shit to say too, but I mean.
No, but that's directly. He has a 5-year-old daughter. She's the most beautiful thing in my world, Laurel's world, my family's world.
Yeah.
He's fucking her around, and it's just. I know why people do it. You know, like, I don't have to be an idiot. Like, look at me. Like, I'm borderline. Like, you know, you can't be physically addicted to weed, but you can be mentally addicted to weed. Like, I've been like, I think seasonal depression gets me, and sometimes the winter months I do it more often. But like, I get it. Like, you feel nothing. The world is a tough place, and you want to feel nothing. And then when you're an addict and you get labeled as a criminal, because my brother and father have fought so bad where they've been arrested multiple times. He's been in jail. You get thrown back into a society that doesn't want you, that doesn't respect you, that doesn't think you're anything, and you also have, like, you know, the fucking matriarch complex, patriarch, whatever I'm trying to say, but like being the king of the household, manly complex, which is like in my family, which is like you don't talk about your feelings. So it's like, instead of opening up to his brother or father or someone, we get on our phones that we get addicted to. And we don't talk to anyone, and we get sad, and we can't find anyone, we can't find love, we can't find a job, we can't find a place to live, so we shoot up again. And that's why my brother is still a heroin addict. Yeah.
My dad was addicted to coke for 10 years, and he said he wasted, he doesn't even feel bad about doing it, but he feels bad about all the money he wasted doing it. And he said that he would have gone to Vegas multiple times, that he would have, like, got to see Europe, that he would have been able to do all those things. But he was too busy blowing it up his nose. And he taught me, and I'm lucky. Very unlucky for other reasons, but lucky in the fact that, you know, he went through it, and hopefully I've learned enough to not go through it myself.
Is your dad the kind of guy who'd be like, my dad, the way he told me not to do cocaine was, he told me that anytime I did cocaine, it felt like my heart was going to beat out of my chest. Yeah. Anytime, like, he's like, yeah, you know, the one time I did crack, I really hate. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay, I'm never going to do any of this.
No, my dad used to,
Dude, the fucking 70s, man, really fucked with people. The 70s really fucked with people.
My dad had a friend who worked at Baskin Robbins, and he used to get the Whippets. He was the Whippets Connect.
It's making that whipped cream, man.
That's right, dude. And then the dude was like, I know I can get you these things, dude. I got like thousands of them, dude. I'll sell them right now to you.
Oh,
like,
God.
What a loose time.
But you know what about those guys though is like they didn't have all the information. They didn't have the phones to hide in and stuff. Like my dad and your dad probably had no choice. Like, they had a family. Like, they had to fucking, like, they chose to. I never used to be a fan of this phrase, but they chose to fucking, like, man up. Like, you know, like, I mean, my dad got addicted to pain, like, prescription pain meds when I was a teenager and stuff. So like, that did happen when I was a kid. But like, it affected me, but like, he got his shit together.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know what the difference is now. All these kids dying off this shit.
Honestly, dude, it's.
If the information age is doing a lot of damage, we know a lot.
That's the thing. Like, there's a page out there for anyone who's feeling a certain way. And if they feel like they want to kill themselves, or if they feel like they're alone, there are pages out there that are going to tell them that heroin is the answer. Or, like, like, don't listen to everyone else. Like, that's the problem with, like, someone's opinion being put on the internet. And it being able to be seen by everyone, is that it just causes, like, immense confusion. Especially, like, if you're lost in, like, 7th, 8th grade, or younger or whatever, and you have a computer by your house and your parents might not monitor it or whatever, you can look up, like, like, oh, what happens if I look up how to make a gun? And then that opens up, like, another like corner in your mind that you might not have ever had, and it might make you want to go, well, how do I become a good shot? And then next thing you know, you're preparing to shoot. What? You're killing animals? Well, next thing you know, you're going to try and kill a human. It's and that's like, that's just like a gun thing. But I feel like it could be like the same thing with maybe how certain music glorifies drugs, certain people have misperceive it, because they're not talking about those drugs a lot of times. They're talking about other drugs, maybe softer drugs,
and
or maybe hallucinogenics, but it takes a certain kind of person to, like, misinterpret it. And those are the type of people that end up getting into the heroin, possibly. But then again, never really went through it, never really had someone really close to me go through something so serious like that, like shooting it up. It was usually someone's brother, not mine, or someone's, family member or something. So I didn't know their individual story on it. But I feel like when it comes to a kid, like a white kid in a suburb or something, living a normal middle class life, I feel like the computer has a lot to do with things.
Yeah.
And maybe in a rural area, computers are still there too, and everywhere,
No, computers are everywhere, and there's so much information, and it's not even all the information you can get to, but it's also like just like I read somewhere, like, our phones, like, they trigger, like, dopamine centers of the brain, like, they're fucking addictive. Like, you ever wake up and you spend an hour on Facebook, like, that's a drug. So you get like I noticed a change in my brother. I came home a few times. He was doing really good, real witty. I was like, oh, hey, he's like a person again. Like, this is cool. And then a couple visits in, he was always on his phone. And then he started mumbling under his breath and stuff. And he was like, there's something there. And it was when he got a phone and started to get some freedoms, But it's a crazy problem. Yeah, and I'm sorry to bring all that shit up there. I've never talked about it in this
Dude,
manner
it's fine.
before.
Dude, it's fine. I mean,
dealing with it for you. It's just, at this point, it's just like he was on his last life. Like, someone very close to us, like, OD'd and died. Like, he was Brett's family. He was my cousin's cousin, and, like, that should have been the wake up call, and it wasn't. So it's like, I don't know what you do. It is a problem. It is a huge problem.
It is, man. Like, there's no way around it. There's nothing good that comes with heroin. But with weed, in my experiences, I kind of need it, because I suffer a little bit mentally. So, like, kind of need it for that. It helps me chill out. I have, like, mad anxiety and PTSD, so it kind of, like, brings me to an equilibrium. Yeah.
I feel you, man.
It kind of, like, evens everything out. It makes me, like, just makes me feel warm inside a little bit. I like starting my day off. I like smoking. And people tell you, like, don't wake and bake, but it's so necessary to me.
It slows me up, but if I don't smoke all the time, I'm just constantly hating myself. I hate to be that blunt, but that's the truth of it. I just think too much, and when I think, I just always go to negative thoughts.
Yeah.
So I smoke to just, like, stop the constant flow.
And that's good, because it's.
I mean,
it's
I need
a
to talk to
medicine.
someone. I need a therapist.
I
But I'm looking
went
into
through
it.
that. You know, it's not for everyone.
No?
But it is for a certain kind of person, and you could be that certain kind of person.
Thank you, Nick.
But
Thank you, Nick.
yeah, dude, I don't know. For me, the person I was at that time, I don't even remember who it was.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember that person. So the things I did and stuff when I was younger, kind of don't really. I can't put that to myself now. I'm like separated. I blocked a lot of shit out. So like, sort of like, I would say, 7th grade onward. You know, kind of just been taking things as it goes and for face value. And if I trust, I trust. If I don't, I don't. And I know where the good vibes are.
All right, that's a good philosophy, man. You're an interesting specimen, Nick Blum.
And so are you.
Oh, thank you, man. Do you have it in you to actually talk music for a little bit?
Yeah.
We went really fucking serious.
Dude, I mean, like, fuck it, like.
It went the most serious.
Dude, like, okay, let's just like dress the table. Now let's talk music.
Let's talk music. So,
have you heard the new Kendrick Lamar album?
Damn. I haven't done the podcast. This will be my first episode in like maybe 2 months. Month and a half to 2 months. The last time I was on here, there was a lot of new albums coming out, but I was just like, I can't do it. Can't do it anymore.
So many?
So, you know, Pimp a Butterfly is like my favorite album of all time. It changed my life. It came to me in a time I really needed it. So, can't compare it to that, I know. But my initial listening to this was like, fuck, I don't know about this. Then I listened to it a second time and I'm like, you're warming me up, Kendrick, but I don't want to fangirl you, so I'm going to be critical. And then I watched the music videos, and I listened a third time, and I really listened. I was like Sonny walking from the park back home.
It was the jam.
Holy shit. He's untouchable, man.
I noticed, I mean, it was a banger album, you know? It had more of the Section 80 type stuff, but it was like so reminiscent of his old stuff, but it was different at the same time. Probably with help from the video, because the video kind of can change the way you like even hear it the next time through. You'll still like be thinking about those images.
Oh yeah, like that one panning shot.
And it's
Humble.
so refined. Like, did you see like the video? There's a video on YouTube of like how the damn video is made.
No.
And
the Humble one or DNA?
Or Humble.
Humble.
And like, you know how it had all this crazy weird like views. Maybe it was the other one. I'm not sure. He's like walking around the globe. Do you know what I'm
I don't
talking
know.
About? There's this whole video on how that music video was made. For I'm pretty sure it was Humble.
Okay.
And
I'll have to watch
it. Cost so much money. Number one, and just like the amount of hours of work it took. After explaining it, it was kind of unreal.
Yeah.
So like, the fact that you would match something up with that type of music means that you're kind of headed for like a more refined step, in my opinion. Like, Damn was like a banger album. It's supposed to be a banger album, be played at clubs and to be jammed to, but it's also supposed to have that longevity of To Pimp a Butterfly. Mm-hmm. You know, and Good Kid, Mad City and Section 80 sometimes lost steam, you know, through, but people always say those are classics too, so it's kind of hard to say.
It doesn't lose steam for me, because like, okay, so first track is Blood. It's a good opener. I think Bad Bad Not Good is doing the background music there. It's really dope. And then we have DNA, banger, awesome track. The Don Cheadle music video is awesome. Kung Fu Kenny. Yeah. It was such a great hook, such a great just beat behind it. I don't like Drake. I'm just gonna be. I always talk about it on the podcast. I don't like Drake. I've just never been a fan. And like Kendrick does his version of Drake.
Yeah,
he fucking kills it.
Yeah, dude, that was good. I remember listening to that, and you know, like what we said without the microphone prior. I don't know the tracks like by name, but I know what they sound like. I remember hearing that Drake-esque type styling for what he's doing with his lyrics and stuff, and I was like, I just like. It sounded so much better than Drake. It was like I was saying, he was like taking different people's mashing up different of the styles of today's artists and putting it all into one album. And has like an incredible Lauryn Hill feel to it. Like if you listen to his like in the very beginning of the song.
Suspicious. Today is the day. Yeah, it totally
it's
does.
So
have a
Lauryn Hill,
yeah.
it's like you can't get it out of your brain. So he's taking it from there and from Drake, and then
the yeah part is from is a nod to an old hip hop song I read somewhere. I forget the name right now.
Okay.
But that like the like that rhythm, it's a nod to another song.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Because like, I think he's like, this is his album where he's like, okay, I'm gonna be an equal to everyone else, but I'm just gonna like take a little bit from all their albums and make it my own, and it's all because of you guys. Y'all are dope too, but I'm gonna do it my way, and that's, I feel like, what he's trying to have. It's not really such a message album. It's more like a skill album, in my opinion.
Well, I think yeah, what was he saying? The one like, I try to build up the black artist. The last album, I tried to build up the black artist. Now it's like something the whack artist. And it's like, yeah, I just think this is his wake up call to everyone. Like, sit the fuck down. I am Kendrick Lamar. You guys are just playing that you're on the same level as me.
Yeah, I think. Well, the dude worked mad hard. Like, he was like hustling harder than anyone. And that's why he got there.
The skill for it.
Skill too. I mean, how do you think he got the skill? It's like, yeah, it's him,
working.
But
the work,
getting it out of him, constantly.
Yeah,
that is like insanely hard to master. Let alone to PR yourself into a position to where you are now.
Like why Chance is so phenomenal.
Well, even more so than Kendrick in that respect.
Yeah, in that respect,
doing it independent.
Legit, he has like total power to do whatever he wants.
Absolutely.
Acting. Doing music, he could probably, if not win, have a really good chance of winning the mayoral election in Chicago. He could totally. Well,
he could. He's making the right decisions.
Yeah.
Turning down $10 million deal or something.
Probably.
I think it was $10 million. He has enough money, but he could have had more if he wanted to. But he has enough, and like he could focus long term on his audience and care more about the audience than the conglomerates in music. You know what I mean? He doesn't need that because I feel like he genuinely cares about the audience. Like in Bonnaroo, when he performed at Bonnaroo, he group camped with a group. He just randomly got chosen with a random group, and they're like, Chance the Rapper. He's like, yeah, I'm in your guys' group. Like he's just chilling, like
he just smoke them up at the tent.
Absolutely, that's probably what happened. They were probably like, yo, hit my weed too, hit my weed. I want Chance to hit my weed.
Hit my bowl.
And then,
please.
And then they could just tell their friends 3 years later when they're smoking, like, Chance hit this shit, dude. That was on his mouth.
I never touched it again. You making out with that. You licked it.
Yeah, dude, he would just hang out in the crowd, like, in Bonnaroo, and then he would go, he made when I saw J. Cole at Bonnaroo, he made a guest appearance and did Lottery, so that was pretty cool, but yeah, Chance is, like, I heard he's, like, a good guy.
Like, he seems like it.
He seems down to earth. I like what he's doing. He's hyped up, but I feel like it's pretty earned.
I mean, you ever listen to acid rap?
Yeah, I mean, like
if you listen to acid rap, I don't think he should be hyped up.
Yeah, well, I mean, he kind of proved himself.
He did,
but it's still hype too.
Like, no, it is. Like, I like Coloring Book because I like Chance so much. Like, there's some like things I forgive on that album. Like, for real. Like, he's more mature on Coloring Book, but like he goes harder on acid rap, and like he's more skilled on acid rap. But his voice is more mature. Like It's fucking weird to explain because he sounds better on Coloring Book, but Acid Rap is like still the better album.
How do you feel about Kanye?
I love Kanye, but I love that old Kanye. You know, that really old
Graduation.
I always do that stupid joke. I like I'm guilty of never listening to College Dropout.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that. Yeah. But Graduation, Late Registration, parts of Yeezus. I agree with David Beck that like Yeezus is just a few clicks away from being like a masterpiece. My Beautiful Dark Twisted is good.
That's hilarious.
He wears that Yeezus shirt every time he plays live. Look at it. Check it out for real.
Wait, I didn't notice.
Start noticing. If you see David Beck live, he's probably wearing his Yeezus shirt.
I will go up to him and be like, nice shirt, bro.
And a chain or $1 million or something.
That's exactly how to describe David Beck. Is like Yeezus t-shirt and a mandala.
And a mandala. I love that dude.
Shout out to String Machine, for real. Mm-hmm. Check that shit out.
Yep, playing Sam Pellegrino and String Machine mix in Butler with Blum and me and everybody.
It's gonna
for the
be
Alls event.
Hell of a time.
Artists Against Alzheimer's comedy show, art showcase, live music. That's gonna be a really fun time.
It's gonna be beneficial for everyone. It's gonna be good for us in the moment and good for people who suffer from Alzheimer's. It's for a good cause, so we're all gonna have a great time. Play some dope music.
One of my best buddies, Jamie Fergus. She's one of the Butler area polyculture people. She was at the String Machine C release show, but her grandpa just passed away. He suffered with Alzheimer's. He just lost his battle, and rest in peace to him, and love you, James. And we're gonna do something special for him next Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I had an Aunt Dorothy who suffered also. Mm-hmm. Might as well throw that out here.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, she didn't die like your normal way. She actually got hit by a car because she wandered out into traffic because she didn't know where she was because of Alzheimer's. So God bless her, and hopefully wherever she's at, she's doing well. But yeah, I'll be playing music for her and other people and everyone, for all the good people out there. We'll be playing April 29th.
April 29th, yep, and there'll be art by David McCandless Photography, Infected by Dummies, Marsha Furman, DG Metric, Gage Martin will be there, a bunch of other people. There'll be glass blowing by Jefferson Glass Company. Different poets, my buddy Kevin Lucas will be there. Nikki T from Portrait People is going to play acoustic. I'm playing acoustic. Cities Under Cities, Nikki T, what a...
Ice-T.
Ice-T. Speaking of Pittsburgh and talking about playing shows and stuff, what are some of your favorite local acts right now? And where do you like to play? And what's your favorite place to eat in Pittsburgh? Give me those three.
Okay, so favorite place to eat is Tootie's Hot Italian Beef. It's on 16th Street in East Carson. It's a little hole in the wall. Shout out to Carl making the good meats. They do a really good beef and mac sandwich. So if you're not a vegetarian, if you like your meats, everyone, you're gonna really dig it. It's served on like a nice hoagie bun. It's really soft. Everything's made from scratch. And they throw that hot Italian beef. It has some pepperoncinis in it. Ooh. And then they throw this bacon mac and cheese on top.
I thought there was some mac and cheese.
And then you can get the optional hot peppers. Hot pickled peppers.
You like to make yourself hurt.
Oh, man. It is the best drunk food, but it's also the best food I can think of at any time. Also, they make a mean biscuits and gravy. So, if you're feeling like... Tootie's Italian.
I asked my dad if he knows all the foods down in Pittsburgh. He's been roofing down there his whole life.
Yeah, it's new. It's a newer place.
It's newer. Never fucking mind.
It feels old fashioned there, but it's newer.
Okay.
It's 2012. I think it was established.
Okay, so that's where you like to eat. How about what's your favorite place to play?
Okay,
favorite place to play, favorite place to see shows.
Okay, favorite place to see shows it's gonna be in Oakland. In the house scene there. Shout out Cafe Verona. Shout out Pub Underground. All the smells that come with it too. Pub Underground has a really interesting smell. You should check it out. See your local band. Tip your bartender. You know what's good.
And your dishwasher.
Yeah, and your dishwasher. Absolutely, your dishwasher. He needs that.
I loved the Altar Bar.
The Altar Bar, yeah. Rip Altar Bar.
For real, everybody was ragging on it, like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm not gonna miss it, the sound sucked. Everybody always talks up Mr. Smalls. Both are renovated churches into music spaces.
Mr. Smalls is where I like to see, like, larger acts.
But have you noticed that the sound has gone downhill in recent years? No, that's just maybe me.
I think because since you are a little bit older than me, when it was recent years, you were like my age.
True.
Recent years, I like 4 years ago. If you're talking about 3 years ago, I didn't know what good sound was.
Yeah,
you know,
I feel you.
And I'm still learning.
You're 16.
Yeah, I'm still learning though.
You're a youngin'. I know. I'm in my mid-20s. I fucking get it, Nick. But like people always talk about Mr. Smalls. Yes, it's an awesome venue. I've seen so many great shows there. But like Altar Bar, anytime I was there, I thought the sound was really good. I'm all about mixes for shows. Can I see? Cool. Besides that big ass stairway that was in the middle, and the sound was always good. I don't know.
I saw Real Estate there, and I was sick. And I have a friend named Isaac, back home, Isaac Silverman. And he goes to Syracuse, and shout out to Isaac Silverman because he just released a song called Lost My Head. Check it out. I'm sure it's on all the major music platforms, such as like Apple Music and all that shit.
Link me to that, man.
I will link you to that. Very, very talented boy and a very silly boy. He, what was it? What were we talking about? What were we talking about? Altar Bar. That's right. Okay, so he drove me there to the Real Estate concert, and we parked in the Strip District in one of those parking spaces in the big wide street. And, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like by the warehousing. You don't know if you should park there.
And we smoked on the bridge right by the Strip District. I forget the name. There's like million
living
bridges.
in Butler, man. If you're not, it was once I got into smoking, it was impossible not to hotbox down Route 8 or 28 to Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's scary stuff though.
I
Sometimes.
have a good story about that actually. But tell your finish. Okay.
So we're on the bridge. We're walking up and down the bridge, and we're hitting his packs because PAXs just came out, and just vaporizers and everything. And
I got you.
PAXs, they're not that good. I mean, if you ask me, I had a Volcano. I'm sure, we talked about this already. Volcano is like the fucking rolls of
once you do that, you see what your life could be. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, so we're like fucking like trying to get high off of a PAX, and then we get back, and Isaac's like, I can't find my keys. I don't know where my keys are. He's patting out his pockets. Where's my keys? And we're like, fuck. And we go back to the car. He left them in the car. And running. He left his keys in the car, and the car was running, and no one took it.
Whoa.
And we were gone for like probably about 45 minutes, and it was just like...
You saw a show?
No, it was before the show. We were like, we're gonna get high as fuck, and let's go see Real Estate. And he left his keys in the car, and
That's insane.
He told me, Nick, don't tell anyone that this happened. And now... Here it is, everyone. 4 years later, coming out. I don't give a shit,
That's a great story.
Yeah, I mean, like, and then we saw Real Estate, and of course we were all like, ugh,
it was
high
good.
as fuck,
it works. Yeah, it worked.
We forgot about that whole thing. But yeah, he was so embarrassed, and it was hilarious.
I mean, that's horrifying. I've done shit like that, So my story, I was hanging down at a friend's apartment, I had like 4 beers and some marijuana.
Yeah.
And I dropped off 2 of my friends in Hampton.
Yeah. And
I was driving from Hampton up to Butler, so I got like 20 minutes left, and I slept off, I had some water, some coffee, I slept off my beers, and I could drive, I was fine. But, it's 20 minutes to Butler, 30 minutes to where I was, 28 minutes to where I was staying out in Fenelton. That's where I'm actually from, Fenelton, very country. I gotta smoke something. So I was really good at driving my car with my knees while packing a bowl. But so I pack the bowl and I smoke it, and I'm just finishing smoking, and all of a sudden I'm in like Butler, home stretch is here. I see a construction sign that says something a few feet up ahead, and I see lights, and I'm like, what's this? And then I register that sign said DUI checkpoint up ahead.
Oh no. Did you do a Yui?
Well, at this point, there's no doing a Yui and getting away.
I would have just done a Yui.
You would have done a Yui?
I would have done a Yui and just like
hope for the best.
Well, the thing is that they would pull me over and I'd be like, yeah, I just don't want to go through a DIY check or DUI check. DIY.
I guess you have that right.
DIY check.
DIY.
Oh, are you here for the show? Oh, you don't look straight edge enough.
You press that yourself? I guess. So
that's not a Gibson Les Paul in the back of your truck, is it?
Oh,
I don't. Oh, it better not be. It better not be, sir.
So I register. I roll down my windows. I'm putting. This was David Beck's piece, by the way. George Lucas. I won't forget.
He called it George Lucas.
He wanted at Bonnaroo. It was really cool.
I'm gonna text it right now. Keep going though. I'm serious.
So I'm smoking out of George Lucas. I put it into my middle console in my car. My car's name's Lucille. Do you like Arrested Development?
Yeah.
So I named my Subaru Lucille, so when it dies, my second car will be Lucille too. And then the middle console of my car was named Morpheus. So I'm putting George Lucas inside of Morpheus. Because I named my middle console because I used it a lot.
You just name your, like...
I named some stuff. I don't do it anymore. That was a happier Ian. Or maybe a really not happy Ian. Morpheus, man, like Matrix. So
Morpheus. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So
I'm literally George Lucas ?
So I put it in the middle piece as I roll up to the cop. I put my piece away, and he goes like waves me on to go forward. I go to the next cop. He goes, "License, please," and I give it to him, and he's like, "Oh, what are you up to tonight?" And, I give some bullshit excuse. And he's like, "Yeah, we're just trying to, we're out here trying to find bad guys." And he, like, stops. He looks at my, like, car and stuff. And he's like, "Yeah, you don't look like you're up to anything that bad. Have a good night."
Yeah, I had a similar experience.
My car reeked of weed, man.
I smoked weed. I smoked hella blunts, but outside my car. And then I went to go drive. And it was after a show. It was actually the first Sam Pellegrino show. That we played, and I remember going to my friend's house and then leaving, and I made a left on a red light because there was like a left turn signal red light, but I didn't see the red light, and like if you were to go straight, it's green, so I just looked at the straight and I made the left, but no one was on the road, but there just happened to be a cop behind me, and I had weed out on my seat.
Oh.
Literally on my seat, and I didn't notice. So when he looked in with his flashlight, he was like, "What you doing tonight?" And I was like, "I was just at a show, and I'm so tired, and I'm trying to get home." And he's like, "Where were you coming from?" And I said, "Rennerdale," which is like out in the middle of nowhere. It's like opposite like side of Pittsburgh, like far away in the south,
Okay.
And it was in Rennerdale, so I wasn't lying. But I went to my friend's house and I smoked a bunch of weed. Like that's where I was coming from. I had the shit in the back, all of our equipment and everything. And then he's just like looked at me and he's like, "Did you know what you did back there?" And I was like, "Honestly, officer, I have no idea what I did. I have no idea why I got pulled over." He's like, "You made you don't?" He's like, "You made a left on a red." And I was like, "Really?" And he was like, "Yeah, there's a left turn signal light." And I was like, "Yeah, I saw the green light. I didn't see the red light. I just saw the green and I made the left, because there was no one coming." And he was like, "You don't give a shit, do you?" And I'm like, "I give a shit." And he's like, No, just tell me. You don't give a shit, do you?" And I'm like, "Maybe I don't, but I should." And then he's like,
"That's the best response."
And then he's like, "Let me see your license." And then he like walks back and then goes back to his car and types in click 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 on the computer. Yeah, and I'm freaking out and I still don't even realize there's weed on my seat.
That's hilarious.
And like it's clear, like it's clearly out too.
That's so funny.
And then he's just like he's flashing his like light around, looking around, and I'm like not gonna look around where he's flashing because that makes me look suspicious. I'm just gonna chill. And he definitely saw the weed, and then he just was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna give you a warning. You should really care more." Like he was like really sarcastic about it. He's really care more. And I'm like, "Yeah, I should. I'm sorry." And he's like, "Yeah, that's a left turn signal, so don't forget that again. Have a good
Care
day.
a little more, kid.
Yeah. And I was just like, that was it. And then I turned to my left, and on the passenger seat was an open bag of weed. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. He didn't even see it? Are you sure he didn't see it?
Maybe, I don't know, man.
Hopefully he didn't, because if he did, that's just wrong. Because I'm white. And if I wasn't white, he would have done something. I swear to God.
Oh, yeah,
and
no, I was going to make a joke,
too.
yeah.
And it's fucked up that
no,
it
it's
is that
fucked
way.
up, man.
But, like, I can't help it, dude. Like, I honestly, I can't help it. And I feel bad. And it's my privilege, and I feel like a dick every single time I reach the end of that story. But like,
me and Robbie in my band, we
Yeah.
talk about, like, we're against it. I'm an ally. I'll fight with you, but I'm done beating myself up.
yeah.
I'm done. Like, shit goes a little easier for me. Like, it sucks. I wish it didn't happen, but
It's also, they're making it harder now. You know, everyone who's people of color kind of do make it harder for a white person now because of all the media and that's okay because it was white media before. Now we're hearing everyone's opinion.
Yeah.
And this is the way it should be, but it's a hard reality for white people, and it's going to probably later down the road become opposite. You know, and we're going to switch roles. And
hey man, like Louis C.K. said, you don't go from number 1 to number 2.
Yeah, he said, yeah, you could travel like any time in the time machine, you know, and it'd be great. Here's a table for you, sir. You know?
Right? Like, thank you.
Oh, yeah, but don't do it traveling in the future. No, we don't want to see how that goes. No,
I'm not into that.
No, I definitely think it's a rude awakening time for people who are white, and that's okay, and we gotta we gotta pay our dues, and we're gonna keep being Americans no matter what, and we do love our country, and we love everyone in it, and I know that not everyone feels the same way, but I know I feel that way, and though I'm going to Montreal and leaving y'all,
You son of a bitch.
I'm still gonna stick by that. I'm a proud American.
Yeah?
And yeah.
Someone asked me if you got drafted, would you go? And I'd be like, well, like, I'm gonna die. Like, I'm not gonna live in a war, but oh, fuck it, I'll go. I guess I'm a patriot.
Don't go.
I don't want to go, but
enroll in college.
Enroll in college.
Yeah, like, just...
I don't want to go. Hey, alright.
You can't...
To get off the serious topic.
Don't go.
What are some of your favorite... I want to know some of your all-time... Give me, like, 5 of your all-time favorite albums before I let you leave. We didn't talk about enough. Like when you think, like really influence you. Like, give you, like, someone a good idea of what you're about music-wise.
Yeah. Okay, so... I'm going to go out and say... Elliott Smith is huge to me.
Yeah. If you had to pick an album, what would you pick? Like, if I want to get into Elliott Smith, what album should I listen to?
It comes down to two. Two different albums. One's called Either Or, and another one's called Figure Eight.
Figure Eight, those two, okay.
I feel like Either Or is like Elliott Smith at his happiest, because the life he lived was so tragic, in a way, and it wasn't like obvious tragedies. It was all internal, you know, and shown through drug abuse and stuff, and then he killed himself, quote unquote. But it's up in question. It could have been a homicide, you know, who knows. But for now, he killed himself. I like listening to Either Or because it feels like reminiscent of like what used to be, you know, and it does it in such a good, authentic way, and true to his sound at the same time.
That's when he did all. Like he recorded that all of himself, right?
Yeah, he recorded all of it himself.
That just celebrated its 20-year anniversary, I think.
Yes.
Like last month, yeah.
Yes.
If I was doing the podcast at the time, I would have talked about it.
Yeah.
That was on my list. I watched it go by.
Right. And so Either Or.
And Figure Eight, you said?
Figure Eight too. That's a tie. Actually, I'm just gonna throw both of them on the list because Figure Eight is like very refined, and I'm not entirely sure if Elliot played every single instrument on that album, but I know he played like over 90% of the instruments, and there are a bunch of instruments on that album. And recorded all the backup vocals. He made all the songs, obviously. It was just a very authentic songwriting thing, you know. It just influenced me to strive for those types of achievements. He made it like seem possible for me to have grandiose recordings and then stripped down recordings and have it still all be cohesive in your career. Another album that I actually just recently listened to, that just killed me inside, and it was really sad. I like sad music. I love happy music too, but this album called A Crow Looked at Me by Mount Eerie. It's the new.
Is that the new one?
Wow, it's like, dude, I can't.
It's literally
even,
somewhat.
It's hard
sad
to listen
music.
to.
Everyone said that you should listen to it because his wife died, right? It's all about
that.
Yeah,
but it's like honest. Like picked up the pen like the day after and wrote his feelings out without even any filter, like, and just like adjectives. It was like, when someone's dying. Right before they die, and they're writing crazy shit. You know, it was like, you know, he was dying at the time, like inside, after his wife died. He was dying, and he was writing just some crazy like something in catatonic. My tears are rusting over my face, and I feel your wind coming through the window, going through my clothes. You know, just like shit like that.
Oh, like just like the despair really just took him over and just worked his beauty out of it.
Absolutely.
I need to listen, and I'm trying to get into the microphones and shit too. It's all recently been thrown at me.
The Glow Part 2 is such a great album.
That's where I'm jumping off from, I think.
Yeah, I love that album. The Nirvana Unplugged album is one of my favorites of all time, because that's what me and my dad would listen to in the car.
Suicide? Suicide?
What, Kurt Cobain? Do I think I was a suicide?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I actually do think it was a suicide.
Did you watch Soaked in Bleach?
Is
the documentary on Netflix?
I watched a few documentaries
about
Kurt.
But it's about like the private investigator who thinks that Courtney Love had a part to play in his murder.
Well, her cigarette pack was there at the scene, so...
There's just so many... I just don't think it was feasible that he killed himself. Like, with how everything was positioned and everything. Like literally, how the shotgun was, like, where the shell went. Like, it couldn't... he had so much heroin in his system.
Yeah. Well, he also, like, bought that shotgun 3 days ago. Or 3 days ago at that time, before he killed himself. And then his taxi driver... when he was going to the airport, he realized that he accidentally left his gun in the car, and he told his taxi driver, though he was going on a flight, to like he will give him money to drive back to his house and put this case inside of his greenhouse, so when he gets back, the gun's there. You know, just like some like clearly decided things on his part, kind of. Maybe I feel like Courtney was like egging him on to do it. And
she's not a nice lady.
And he was like in a mental state where he was malleable, and that caused him to kill himself. But Courtney maybe wasn't there. And I kind of feel the same way about Elliott Smith and how his girlfriend kind of she sought after royalties 4 years after he died, and she got denied of it. They're like, no, because she claimed that as a dependent off of him, and that she was his manager, which wasn't true, and like all these things, and like she went crazy. So everyone kind of like raised suspicion over that. So
I've heard.
Yeah, and I think I have one more album, Pink Moon by Nick Drake.
It's in mine. So
many sad albums, just sad, like. Just sadness is so necessary in life to have you realize the happiness too. So, you know, to dwell upon some sad things is completely normal, and I just find a lot of salvation out of sadness sometimes. You know, it's very...
Yeah, man, Pink Moon's like it's like a breath of fresh air for me. Like I feel for Nick Drake, because I really feel like Nick Drake just needed to have he just needed a couple more people to be like, you're doing like good. That's all, like no, like what you're doing's worth it.
Because he really measured himself with his music.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of those people that like, he was his music.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it was so good. But like you said about TTNG, and they took too long to tune in between songs, that's the only reason why the people started talking and yapping over his music, is because he would take 5 minutes in between each song to tune, and he wouldn't talk, and he did no banter, so he was just like, watch me play and then watch me tune for 5 minutes, and then people lost interest after 1 or 2 songs, although the first song was received very well, and the second song was received very well, and then big tuning break, and then next thing you know, he walks off stage because he just got too frustrated. But then everyone's like, where did he go? Mm-hmm. You know, but he doesn't think of it that way. He thinks that just because they're talking and stuff means like they don't like him, you know?
Yeah, he's so tragic for me. It really, like it was like Nick Drake and then like Pimp a Butterfly like got me like out of my like stop being so secret about how sad you are. Talk to people about it. I will like have a smile on my face and be like, I'm so sad right now. How are you doing today? You gotta talk about that shit.
It's like the one time I was tripping on shrooms and at Bonnaroo, and I took a day by myself, and I fucking I ended up having a bad trip because it started raining and they canceled everything, and I had to go back to my pod by myself while I was tripping on shrooms in the pouring rain, and I walked the wrong way.
Oh, no.
And I got lost.
Oh, no.
And I just remember I was like laughing while I was walking through the rain, but what was going on in my mind was not laughing.
No.
I was like having really bad thoughts, you know, and then like just like kind of crying and laughing at the same time, you know, like you know, like those like moments where like you're laughing. Oh, there's one.
Dadarino.
What up, Dad? Here, hold on, Dad. Let me talk about shrooms real quick. But yeah, dude, there was these 2 girls tripping on acid that were like just running through the rain, and then they stopped right by me, and I asked them like, hey, how do I get back to pod 2? And they were like speaking gibberish to me, and I'm like, okay, you're tripping, you know, and they're like, oh, we're lost as fuck. We have no idea where we're going. And they're having like a great time. It seems like.
I can't have a bad time on shrooms.
Maybe
I'd be like, oh, maybe they were.
Because I looked like I was smiling, but I was having a bad time. So it was like really like you kind of measured things up, like in that moment. Like, wait, you know, maybe like we all don't know what's going on in people's lives, you know.
Sure, man.
And like. It kind of broke me out of the bad trip a little bit, but it kind of also, like, I was still so fucking scarred from that moment of just, like, being lost. We got back together, we teamed up.
Oh, you teamed up and found where to go.
Yeah, we were all just, like, soaking wet and just, like...
tripping balls.
Yeah, tripping balls and stuff, and it was just... It was such a mess, and then... The rain stopped, and then they brought everyone back, you know, because we could play now, everyone could play, and they all switched stages, right? So, because of the rain, fucked things up, and just for time purposes, you know, some people moved from one stage and all the way to the other side of Centeroo or whatever, so they have to play at the nearest stage, just so people don't, you know, so they have enough time to perform. Yeah. So we had to, like, find everyone, and we were going to go see, Les Claypool's, or was it the Claypool Lennon Delirium or whatever?
Oh, you went last year.
Yeah. And we ended up seeing that, but right as we were...
That was a good album. I forgot about that album.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
What was, yeah, who came out instead? Oh, yeah, so... Get to the crowd, we're like pushing up, like get out of my way, I need to get to the front. We get about like into the middle of the crowd until like we couldn't push up. and we're trapped in there. People are all around us.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lights shut off, and then everyone starts cheering. The show's about to start, right? And it's going to be the Lennon Claypool Delirium. And I look around, I'm like, wow, these are like a bunch of young kids, you know? Like, this is pretty chill how they like the Claypool Lennon Delirium. and then I hear in the microphone, the rain won't stop us. It was fucking Macklemore. I was like, no, they're all the way over there then. No, and then we're just running everywhere. You know, passing by fried donuts, you know, like hot dogs, you know. They're like a big neon, like thing of a taco, like a cartoonized taco, you know, just so many.
You come on too, man.
That's still tripping too.
I know, that's why the taco guy gotta come too.
Dude, yeah, it's just like so many things are flying around me and stuff, and then next thing you know, I hear Les Claypool's.
Now me and Lennon. Now we're gonna tell you a story. That's crazy, man. I want to go to the Roo.
Yeah, have you been?
Never. I've only ever been to Cornerstone Christian Music Festival and Audio Feed Christian Music Festival.
You would love Bono.
I know, it'd be heaven on earth.
I was on a Persian rug in the middle of a field with two very big-breasted naked women, and I was learning so much about just like I was having a conversation with two beautiful naked women. And not even looking at what they got, I was just like having a conversation with them. It made me realize that like we treat them like pieces of meat, you know. Yeah, and I felt like it felt like bullshit to me, you know. And I hang out with friends who like, you know, they come from a certain place that you know we don't come from, so they kind of like are like guys should date girls and stuff. They're not like homophobic or anything. They're just like that's what they believe in. Because that's what they're interested in. They're straight guys. You know,
it's conditioning, man.
But yeah, like, just hanging out with that crowd, you know, is, sometimes you feel like the odd one out. And you kind of don't want to say anything about, like, women's rights or anything. But I got to continue to be vocal about it, you know. And
yeah, you got to talk about it.
Yeah, and put it on the conversation table. Because it's important, man.
It is important.
That's half our world.
Yeah, man,
that's half our world.
It is. We don't realize it's like, you know, not moving out of the way for a girl, or just like, you know, all the overly nice things that you want to do for a girl, or like heavy lifting or anything. It's like no, like that's conditioned shit that we need to stop. You're right.
And I see it. I think like the main thing is that we just need to be friends with those people too. We can't just say, okay, you think a different way, you know. I don't want to be friends with you. I'm not that type of person. I'll be friends with someone who is a homophobe, honestly. If they're gonna be nice to me and I'll be nice to them and they give me respect, I'll be friends with someone and I'll talk to them about
half
it.
My family, you know.
Yeah.
It's hard.
You have to deal with it. You have to deal with those people. You might as well be friends, so you can reach an understanding to one another. It's all listening, because like the people that are very into rights, equal rights for everyone, don't listen. They don't listen. Mm-hmm. They just state their opinion and don't listen. Like that, like you guys have good points, but if y'all listen though,
I had that argument with my dad. Like he's huge born again Christian with my mom and dad. Like he's like big in it, and it's bettered him a lot of ways. Like, I don't take away from him, but then like in other ways, like it's just like I'm just like sick of hearing some things. I remember we were having one conversation and we got on the whole gay thing. He's really against it. Like, you know, he really thinks it's wrong. Like he one time made me look up like how the percentage of like gay people in the world compared to straight, and like you know just be like, he's like, because if it's a big number, I'll say I'm wrong or whatever. Turned out it was a small percentage, or whatever. But we were just having this conversation, and like he just kept going with it, and like about, you know, what's wrong for this reason, and I'm like, well, you know, like I don't agree, and I'm like, I got friends, I was like, I just don't agree. I love you though, and like that's where I took the argument. And eventually he just like, I was like, Dad. He like verbally went, like he was getting angry over the phone. I'm like, what do you want from this conversation? Like, what are you trying to get from this conversation? He was like, I want you to agree with me. And I just was taken aback, and I was just like, And then I'm that little prick of a son who I never fought with my dad, but I just do like overly nice things to make you mad. Like, I'm just gonna be more nice to you the more you make me mad. But I was just like, but I love you. Isn't that enough? And he was just like, okay, I'm gonna talk to you. I'll talk to you another day. Have a good night, son. But it's just like, you can't change people, man. Like, I was like giving him logic. I wasn't trying to argue with him, but he just wouldn't stop. He wanted me to agree with him. Really, really, he needed it. He needed it. And I'm not gonna agree with you.
I think there's something interesting about my dad is he's very understanding when it comes down to it. He was raised very Catholic, broke out of it, and
so your mom's Jewish?
Yeah, my mom is Jewish.
Oh, okay. Your dad's Catholic.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Right. So apparently I'm part Jewish forever if my mom's Jewish, which...
If your mother's mother.
Yeah, mother's mother.
Get your fish in the dock, Jerry. Sorry.
But, hey, lady! Lady!
Oh, God.
All right.
Okay, so what's up Sam Pellegrino wise?
Okay.
Give me the deets. What do people need to know about that? Then I'll let you go. We've been talking a while.
May 26th, we're going to do an EP release show. Somewhere. We don't know where yet. It'll either be at my house in Southside or maybe a house show in Oakland or a venue that we can pull through at the last second. But it's supposed to be with String Machine, which is our friend David's band. And David got in contact with the Punch Drunk Tagalongs from Cleveland. So they're going to be heading up if we get a place to play. And the Crashlanders, who we recently played with in Columbus at Misfit Manor, which is the house venue that we spoke so much of earlier.
Maybe one day we can open up about that.
Another
when I come back to Pittsburgh and see you again.
Wonderful venue. Had a blast there. So many stories to tell.
So many stories.
But the Crashlanders killed it. They played the last set, and they had 5 encore songs.
Oh, damn.
So,
killed it.
Yeah, everyone was digging it. They're a duo like us.
Ooh.
I think their names are Alec and Dave, after talking to them sporadically on Facebook. But, yeah, incredible people. I'm sure Punch Drunk Tagalongs are going to be fucking sick, too.
Yeah? I never heard of them.
Yeah, neither have I. I can't wait to see them.
I trust David Beck's opinion.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
We gotta get those.
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, David's, like, if you're gonna
trust anybody.
Yeah, I trust David.
Fully.
Yeah.
Anytime I try not to, I get in trouble, so it always works out to trust them.
Yeah.
Can I know how many tracks are on this EP?
There's gonna be 4. It's gonna be male bonding. It's gonna be a song called It's Statistics.
Okay.
And then another song called Bait 2, and another song called Mr.
Okay. And that's you and Tim?
Yeah, me. I'm Nick Blum.
Nice, this is Nick.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Nick.
I'll do a little intro for you and stuff.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Tim Fitzgerald on drums.
Fitzgerald, what a
Tim
last name.
Fitz.
Tim Fitz.
The Thimbo Slice. Summon
A good drummer has a lot of nicknames.
Yeah, the Thimbo Slice.
You know Bird the Professor?
Fim Tits.
Fim Tits. That's good. That's a good one. That's the best one.
But Tim Fitzgerald, yes.
Tim Fitzgerald. Any other shows or anything in the works?
We're playing a show on 28th. I forget where. I'd have to check my phone, but I'm not going to do that.
In the Pittsburgh area.
In the Pittsburgh area. We're playing somewhere on the 28th. Shout out to Jackson for booking us. He's a dope human being. He one of the few saints in the music scene in Pittsburgh.
Nice.
Yeah, that's it. That's
it?
all I can say right now, man.
Well, we're going to be playing some house shows in New York. No one's going to hear this until after. But I just wanted to say that, and I'm excited to do that tonight, man. And thanks so much for being on the show.
Fuck yeah, Ian. Thanks for having me, dude.
Of course, this is I maybe come back or maybe one and off. I don't know.
Let's see.
We'll see.
Let's see how it goes, man.
Thanks again, man.
Thanks for having me.